there, and welcome to the Paletteful Packs YouTube channel. My name is Alice, and I have the first Paletteful Packs of 2022 in front of me for January, and I'm so excited. So let's open it up. Oh my god, there's look a little mini, it's a little mini guy. What? That's so cute. Oh my gosh, it's like a little keychain. So instead of a sticker, we got Artie, who's our artistic sidekick. I love him. I love Artie. Artie, we stan. Yes. Okay, so I looked at the supplies and I'm so excited. I love these watercolor pastels. So these are the Crayon Dash Neocolor 2s, and they're basically like watercolor crayons. You're gonna get a set of 10, and I actually have used these before and they're awesome. They're so good. So I'm really excited to play around with these. And these are super good quality. They have a really high pigment concentration. They're super pigmented. They cover really well. They have really beautiful luminous colors, and they have a really nice light resistance because these are professional quality pigments. All right, next thing that I see in here, I see the paper, but I like to do that one at the end. So we have this Stabilo Aquarelle pencil. So these are really interesting. These are water-soluble pencils, but they will mark on it pretty much any surface, including acetate paper, glass, metal, and photo and film. So that's really cool. And also, oh, I'm getting blue all over me. These are going to be great for creating a little undersketch and doing some really interesting blue-toned sketches. So this is a great little under pencil to use. Okay, so you're also going to get a Princeton Sable synthetic blend brush. This is a size 6 round, and this is going to be perfect for blending out all of those watercolor crayons as well as the pencil. And because this is a Sable synthetic blend, you're kind of get the best of both worlds. So you get the durability of that synthetic, but you also get the pointing value and the color holding and the spring of Sable brushes. So it's kind of a great little combo. Last thing in here is the surface. This is the Strathmore mixed media board. This is the 500 series, which is their best series. It's their highest end. And this is going to come with 6 8x10 mixed media boards with a vellum surface. These are 100% cotton. They're two-sided, archival, acid-free, and they're for both wet and dry media. Okay, so this is everything you're going to get in the first Paletteful Packs Premiere Pack of 2022. This pack includes the 6-pack of the Strathmore mixed media boards. It's going to include the Princeton brush, as well as the Stabilo water-soluble pencil, and then the crown jewel, the 10 set of these super high-quality Neocolor watercolor crayons. So I am so excited to use these products. Some of these are already some of my favorite products, so I can't wait to show you how I use them. So let's go ahead and make some arts. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do, as always, is the swatches. So I went ahead and I swatched the watercolor pencil first. It blended out into such a beautiful blue. And then I went ahead and swatched the water wax pastels in rainbow order, obviously. And these blended out so beautifully. You can really work them into the paper and blend out all of the different pigments if you want, or you can leave a little bit of texture. It kind of depends on how you want your painting to look. But you can see how vibrant and pigmented they are and just how easily they activate with water. And for the white, I swatched it on the white paper, but I also went ahead and mixed it with some pink so you can kind of see how you might use it in a real like painting. So that was the swatches, and once I had the swatches done, I went into the artwork. And I had kind of a vague idea of what I wanted to do here. I knew I wanted to do something with a bit of a fantasy vibe, some kind of multicolored tree trunk. and using a lot of kind of colors and fluid line work. So I started with a really loose sketch. I drew this kind of like spirit, and it ended up being the water spirit who is very curious and playful and is kind of coming up, lapping at the shores of her river. There is this tree, and she's really intrigued by it. So she's kind of coming up to the tree, and there's some water kind of splashing on the roots of the tree to investigate and say hello to the magic tree and see if the tree spirit is home. So that's kind of the story behind this, I think. So I started with that really loose under sketch that you saw, where I was just establishing overall shapes and the composition. And I love sketching with watercolor pencil and doing these underpaintings because you can be really, really loose, and a lot of it you can kind of blend away with the water. So it really allows you to layer and be loose and free with your lines and your sketching, which I love because I think it creates a lot of fluidity in your paintings and your artwork. So after that first layer was dry, I went on with the pencil again, and I decided to detail the line work more. So this is where I started to create kind of the face and define the shapes more. I went in on the tree, and I really wanted to get some patterns and interesting swirls and lines in the actual tree trunk itself. So I spent quite a bit of time creating that. I kind of was like feeling Grandmother Willow Pocahontas vibes there, because so pretty. So that was kind of some of my inspiration. And then I did some more work on the water spirit and kind of had her arms like flowing into the water, and did some work on her hair. And then I used the pencil to add in some shading as well, for a little bit of a darker blue undertone, because this is kind of the underpainting. So I want to establish not just the line work, but also a little bit of the kind of contrast and the shading work. So after that was all sorted, I went ahead with some water and the paintbrush, and I blended that out in a more kind of controlled manner than before. Before you saw me use a spray bottle, and I do kind of use a spray bottle throughout in different ways. In the first time, I used it to really soften things up. And after I go in with all of the brushwork here, I actually use another, like the spray bottle again, to just kind of soften the lines a little bit more as well. Once that layer is fully dry, and you do want the layer to be fully dry, I went in with the watercolor crayons. So I recommend doing less layers rather than more with the watercolor crayons. So try to get down as many colors and like build that up before you put in the water. And that way you don't have to layer on top as much, and basically do your layering with the pencils before you add water. So you can see I'm doing a lot of different layering to create some colors. You can add in this white crayon to create some lighter colors and lighten things up a little bit more. And yeah, just kind of go crazy. It's really fun, but do remember that like once you add in the water, these colors are going to get a lot more vibrant. So keep that in mind when you're laying down the color. The thicker and the more heavy you lay this crayon or pastel, the more pigment is going to go on the paper, and thus the more pigment is going to be activated by water. So if you're going really like hard with the crayon, then there's more pigment. So just keep that in mind when you're layering and adding in your shading. And once you are feeling pretty good about it, that's when it's time to add water. So I started by spraying the whole thing really lightly. That just kind of activated all of the crayons. You definitely don't have to do this, but for the style of painting that I was working on, it worked well. And then I used, again, water and the paintbrush to go through and blend everything out. I recommend starting in the area that's the lightest and blending into the darker areas, because the area that has the most water is going to be the lightest area. So generally when you first have the water on your paintbrush, there's most water. So start in the lighter area and then push that pigment into the darker area. You're going to get a lot smoother of a blend. That's definitely one piece of advice I have. This also applies to when you're blending colors. Start kind of with the lighter color and blend into the darker color. I added another little spray bottle at the end to kind of blend everything together even more and get some of these really cool bleed textures and star-like shapes in the background. And then I went over the top again once it was fully dry with the white crayon to add in some more detail and some more contrast, especially in like the foam section of the water. And just that's like how I like to layer on top of it, is adding just like a couple little bit more highlights here and there, adding some more shadows, just kind of touching up certain areas. And you don't even have to activate that if you don't want to. You can kind of leave it as regular crayon. It's just totally personal choice and what works for your painting. And then as a final touch, I went over the top with some more of this pencil to add in some more fine detail in the face and upper body of the spirit, and also down where there was like the water smashing on the tree, and a little bit more detail and line work in the tree itself as well, because I really wanted some kind of cool visible lines in here as well. So I did all that, softened a couple little things, and added in some light stars, and then I sprayed the whole thing really, really lightly and signed my name. So that is it. That is how I created this piece. I think it came out super, super cute. I love the like fantasy vibe, and I hope that you guys liked it too. I hope that this was helpful for you in learning some techniques about how to use your Neo colors, and I'm so excited to see what everyone else creates. This is definitely one of my favorite boxes today. I love these supplies, and you really can create some beautiful textures and really cool things with them. So thank you for watching. If you would like to get your own Paletteful packs, then there is a link in the description box that you can click to go to our website and subscribe. And I will see you in the next video. I hope that you're having a wonderful start to your 2022 and have a great rest of your day.